Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Omaha News. I'm Lauren Harahill.
And I'm Kevin Grace. Coming up, we have a live interview that will give you some tips on the do's and don'ts of shoveling snow.
Also, reporter Ernest Powell tells us what new things are happening to the North Omaha area. You're watching the Omaha News.
This is the Omaha News, presented by the School of Communication at the University of Nebraska at Omaha, from the studios of UNO Television.
The massive snowstorm that is sweeping out of the Rockies is headed towards Nebraska, and although no one is predicting a storm of disastrous proportions, we do need to be cautious. Marie Hanusek is on the UNO campus with an update. Marie?
24 hours from now, there will be 3 to 4 inches of snow on the ground and 30-mile-per-hour winds creating whiteout conditions. Omaha Mayor Jim Settle this morning said the city is prepared for the storm. Weather forecasters have pushed back the time when they think the storm will hit Omaha. Forecasters now say there will be flurries early Thursday, but that the heavy snow will hold off until mid-morning. Settle is urging businesses to stagger the times they let workers go home tomorrow so the streets don't get choked as cars and snowplows make their runs. The mayor declared a snow emergency with alternate side parking beginning at midnight between Thursday and Friday. Cars should be parked on the even side of the streets east of 72nd on Friday, shifting to the odd side on Saturday. Public Works Director Robert Stubbe says the city will spray a brine on the main streets before the storm starts to help keep the snow from sticking to the streets. He says the main collector roads will be cleared first, and he anticipates the plowing on residential streets won't begin before Friday afternoon, depending on when the snow stops. Lauren and Kevin?
Thanks, Marie. Marie, how much equipment does the city have to deal with the storm?
Kevin, Public Works Director Stubbe says the city will use contractors to help clear the snow from the streets. He says the city has about 100 pieces of equipment and the contractors add about another 100 pieces.
Thanks, Marie. The forecast is for more than 7 inches of snow for outside of Omaha and maybe more outside of the city. So get your shovels and be ready to scoop. There are some precautions you need to take. Joining us by phone is Dr. Gib Willett, an associate professor of physical therapy at the UNMC. Thanks for joining us today, Dr. Willett.
You're welcome.
What can people do to reduce the stress if they aren't in great shape?
Well, you really need to consider if you're over 40 and you're relatively inactive, you should be especially careful if you've had a history of heart trouble or if your doctor has told you need to be cautious with physical exertion. You need to really consider maybe having somebody else do it or getting permission from the doctor before doing shoveling.
Okay, then any advice for the youngsters who may want to shovel snow to make a little money or help out a neighbor?
You bet. Well, those folks generally, it's not a concern with heart attack because of physical exertion, that sort of thing. They need to dress warm. If you're tired, take breaks and keep working away as long as you feel fine.
Dr. Willett is a teacher of physical therapy at UNMC. Thanks again, Dr. Willett.
You bet.
The Omaha City Council has finally approved the North Omaha redevelopment plans. The goal is to bring jobs back to this part of town that have been struggling over the past decade. The city says the redevelopment plan will bring in an estimated $3.5 million.
After months of political finger-pointing among city council, the mayor's office feels that things are right on track for North Omaha job creation. There are new businesses coming to North Omaha like the Planet Fitness on 56th and Ames and the new Walmart North Star scheduled to open in 2014 at 50th and Ames. Cinta and Aldi's have opened over the last couple years in North Omaha. Those businesses in the North Omaha redevelopment project along 16th and Ames to Locust Street is Mayor Jim Settle's way to improve the unemployment in the area. Douglas County unemployment is 4.1%, slightly higher than Nebraska's 3.7%, but Northeast Omaha unemployment rate is more than double at 11.3%. Mayor Soto has campaigned on creating 1,000 new jobs for North Omaha and thinks that the redevelopment project is a step in the right direction.
I've said repeatedly, it's okay to put the growth down I-80 toward Gretna, but North Omaha can't get there. So we got to reverse that and put the development in North Omaha and put North Omaha to work.
The plan also includes 1,000 new housing units throughout North Omaha. Councilman Ben Gray says new investment along Ames will help a lot of residents who are without transportation.
There are 2, sometimes 3 different buses that come through here. So there's all kinds of public transportation that would get them to any of these sites.
If you're looking for a job, you can stop by the Urban League of Nebraska, located right here on the corner of 30th and Lake Street. They have people on site to help you build your resume as well as conduct mock interviews on the spot. For the Omaha News, I'm Ernest Powell.
The city says the redevelopment plan will bring in an estimated $3.5 million in sales tax revenue to the city. Coming up after the break, Xiaojun Liu explains that doing taxes can be difficult for us in the metro area, but for others it's much more difficult.
Also, reporter Katie Wagner is in the newsroom, and she shows us how Miller families truly feel about the new school enforcement and what exactly visitors will do to enter the premises. You're watching the Omaha News.
PBS is the place you should go first.
There are no advertisers to be satisfied, only an audience to be satisfied.
We take our responsibility as journalists very seriously. We are constantly thinking about our viewers and what they care about.
We want to let you know what the information is, and then you decide what you want to think.
At the News Hour, we are after the facts and only the facts.
You've always known you were a leader, someone who works hard to achieve your goals. You can see it. You can see your success in front of you. You pursue a college education for the old-fashioned reasons, to learn, to make yourself more valuable, to succeed. You need a place that celebrates your ambition and positions you alongside visionary people just like you. You, my friend, belong here, the University of Nebraska at Omaha.
UNO TV invites you to take a journey around the world, to lush jungles with endangered species, to exotic lands and different cultures, to lost cities beneath the sands. Travel through time to see ancient secrets on the other side of the world, the growth of the American West, or the start of Nebraska's largest city, or just explore our state. Find out about Nebraska in World War II. Learn how Omaha has grown since. Discover the effort to renovate its green spaces, the history of one of its most impressive buildings, or look at its internationally recognized university. For over 20 years, UNO TV has produced award-winning documentaries that explore, educate, and enlighten. To find out more, call 402-554-2516 or visit unotv.unomaha.edu.
You're watching the Omaha News.
Welcome back to the Omaha News. I'm Kevin Grace.
And I'm Lauren Harrahill. The number of international students at American colleges and universities has risen. The Institute of International Studies says the number of students have increased by 6% to over 700,000 in the past academic year. And for this tax season, tax returns have become one of the hottest topics for these students. Xiaojun Liu tells us what international students need to do for their taxes this year.
Filing income taxes is very complicated.
Everybody needs to be very responsible for filing their taxes.
But for international students and non-residents who just spend time in the United States for study or other purposes, taxes can be more complex.
If you're here and you're here on a J1 visa and you have not been here for more than 2 years, you are considered a non-resident for tax purposes.
It gets more complicated after that. Bonnie Jones of the Internal Revenue Service came to UNO to train volunteers who will help international students file their forms. International student Baiso Padelka from Mongolia has attended the yearly tax training program for the second time. She wants more people to know about the necessity of tax filing as well as helping people in the process.
Obviously, nobody will, tell you you have to file your taxes, but it's our obligation. That's why I'm doing my duty, the obligation, I'm following that rules. and as well as helping people.
All international students who live in the U.S. in 2012 are required to complete Form 8843, whether they earn any income or not. However, non-resident taxpayers cannot submit the return form electronically. It must be printed off and mailed in. Each year, UNO serves approximately 250 international students through the program by providing 4 days of tax assistance. When you come to the workshop to file taxes, remember to bring your tax documents, Social Security card, passport, I-20, and your checkbook. For the Omaha News, I'm Jiaxing Liu.
April 15th is the deadline for filing your tax form. If you have any questions, UNO will host tax workshops on March 5th, 15th, the 28th, and April 5th.
The Catholic Church was surprised earlier this month when the Pope announced his retirement, leaving many to wonder what his legacy will be.
I was pretty surprised by him retiring because I didn't know it could happen.
Citing his failing health, the Pope surprised many Catholics around the world and in Omaha this month when he announced he was going to retire. He will become the first Pope since the Middle Ages to leave the papacy. And that has many Catholics and historians wondering what his legacy will be. Corey Kahns is a senior at UNO this year and was one of the millions of Catholics that was shocked and saddened by the news.
He was very outgoing. Like, he fixed a lot of problems in the world, and like, he was a big with getting the children into the whole Catholic thing. World Youth Day was a big thing back in the day.
For young Catholics like Corey, this Pope has engaged the youth through social media. Some scholars, like Dr. Margaret Minius, don't know if he really set himself apart from the man that held the office before him, saying, quote, Pope Benedict XVI's legacy will most likely be viewed as a continuation of his predecessor, Pope John Paul II, as a move toward conservatism and away from the progressivism of the Second Vatican Council, end quote. As scholars and historians debate Pope Benedict XVI's legacy, the Omaha Diocese's 250,000 Catholics eagerly await the next man they will call Holy Father. While the world watches the Vatican to see who the next Pope will be, one thing historians note, that Pope Benedict XVI is leaving on his own terms.
It seems like shootings have happened almost every other week, and it's tightening up security all over. Katie Wagner is in the newsroom to give us details on how one school district isn't wasting any time to secure their buildings. Katie?
Thanks, Lauren. Parents have many fears after the shooting in Newtown, Connecticut. I spoke with parents and learned more about what they're doing to deal with the new changes in the school system.
You know what color is that?
Red.
No, it's not red. No, it's not green. That's yellow.
Lapita Meniscus is a mother of 3 that has been homeschooling for 7 years. In light of the recent school shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary, she is saddened by what is happening within the public school system.
I'm afraid, that it could be so secure, or they can put so many stipulations that it can also deprive the parents from their own rights with their children.
The Sandy Hook Elementary school shooting shocked our nation, and it is causing public schools to reevaluate the way that they handle building procedures.
So you have to pre-arrange if you're ever going to go to the school for any type of event or to have lunch with your children. That has to be pre-scheduled, whereas before you used to be able to pop in, and you always have to check into the offices.
Karina feels that Millard Public Schools have done a great job preparing her children for the emergency situations.
I do like the ideas of having the option for teachers to carry weapons.
After speaking with Millard Public Schools Communication Coordinator Rebecca Kleeman, I was told that resource officers currently carry their service gun and are located in all the Millard high schools and some of the middle schools as well. Lauren?
Thanks, Katie. Coming up after this short commercial break, we'll fill you in on major cosmetic changes happening to UNO's football field and some more information on the upcoming snowstorm.
Also, we'll tell you how the UNO women's softball team is doing this season and where they're headed to for the weekend. You're watching the Omaha News.
Something wasn't right.
Were they lying to the public?
There was a bigger story here than just a plane crash.
It's become the symbol of everything that's wrong with the industry.
My kid got 6 vaccines in one day and he regressed.
Not only are those children who aren't vaccinated at risk, but those who can't be vaccinated are at risk.
Nobody really knew what was going on. What was it in this market that had to be hidden?
I spent millions of dollars in cash bribing government officials.
People in power do not like the investigation to come too close to them.
You never hear these stories.
Tuesdays on NET1.
NET Television expands your mind, enlightens your mind, inspires your mind, educates your mind, entertains your mind. NET Television opens up new worlds to you. Explore, travel, learn, discuss, debate. NET Television keeps you informed. Music, theater, dance, art, news. NET Television awakens your dreams, seeks to serve, strengthens our communities. We are Nebraskans. We are NET Television, Nebraska's PBS station.
You're watching the Omaha News.
UNO hockey player Matt White has been named WCHA Offensive Player of the Week. This past weekend, White had 6 points with 1 goal and 5 assists in a road sweep over the Alaska Anchorage Seawolves. He becomes the 4th Maverick to earn a Player of the Week honors this season, joining Zahn Robenheimer, Josh Archibald, and goalie John Faulkner. The Mavericks, ranked 14th in the country, will host the U.S. National Under-18 team in an exhibition game tomorrow at 7:37. The game will play as scheduled in spite of the forecast for snow in the Omaha area.
The UNO softball team is 9-1 on the season after winning 4 out of 5 this past weekend in the North Texas Lovelace International in Denton, Texas. In the tournament, the Mavericks beat Dayton twice, North Texas, and Big 12 member Oklahoma State. Their only loss was to Iowa by 1 run. UNO will try to improve their impressive record when they head to Jackson, Mississippi for the Jackson State Tournament, which is held from Friday through Sunday. The Mavericks will play 3 games against Evansville and 2 against host Jackson State.
The construction has begun for UNO's new soccer pitch, also known as a soccer field for many others. As the excavators begin to dig up the old football turf, the next step is to remove the layers of concrete underneath. The first process is to be finished by April 1st. The next step is to put in proper drainage, hopefully finished by the middle of June. The last thing for the pitch is to finally install the new turf, which should be done by next season. The vendor for turf installation is still to be determined, and operations are planned for redevelopment of the visitors' locker room and concessions.
The Husker basketball team was scheduled to play against Iowa tomorrow night, but due to the snow advisories, the game has been moved to this Saturday at 1 p.m. The game was supposed to be televised on ESPN2 for Thursday, but information on the broadcast is still to be announced. Fans who bought tickets for the game will still be able to use them for the weekend.
Speaking of snow cancellations, the kids will probably be lined around the TV tonight watching to see when their school closes and can plan on going sledding. Depending on how much snow we'll actually get, these days off could set the schools back a few more. OPS elementary schools have only 4 built-in snow days and have already used 2, after which makeup days will be needed. The Millard School District also has 4 snow days total built into their schedule, with 2 remaining. And for Westside, the district has enough built-in snow days that the schools would have to miss quite a bit in order to add extras. More snowstorms are lined up around the corner, so we can expect more cancellations at the beginning of next week. Hopefully, the kids appreciate these precious snow days while they're here.
Following the break, we'll show you how a simple love for horses and woodworking led one family to take over a closing business. Also, we'll give you some remedies to help that stubborn runny nose in these colder months.
Reporter Marie Hanusek gives us a tale of one little girl's strong fight for the life she deserves and how the Red Cross has helped the families battle a little less stressful. You're watching the Omaha News.
Something new or reach beyond.
Oh my gosh, it's fantastic.
When you want to peer inside,
there's something wrong here. This isn't normal.
Will it seem almost impossible or push the limit?
Large tornado! It's humongous! You need to get out now!
When you want to dive deep.
These divers are like astronauts.
Our human nature is to push into places that we don't know about.
Or go to the edge.
There are other worlds out there.
We don't know exactly what we're going to find.
When you want to find new frontiers.
I was truly astonished.
You just don't ever know.
Nova.
Wednesdays on NET1.
Most local television news only gives you brief headlines about issues that may be important to you. But for more than 10 years, only one program has remained dedicated to examining all the information about issues that really matter to Nebraskans. I'm Kathy Wyatt, and it's my privilege to present those issues for your consideration. Join me on the campus of UNO in a program we call Consider This, every week on NET1.
The University of Nebraska at Omaha is a place for tomorrow's leaders, a place where individuals converge on a path to success, getting the attention and direction they need as they begin their career. It's where students take pride in serving Omaha, a city we've invested in for more than 100 years. UNO is a place where greatness begins. The University of Nebraska at Omaha.
No one can say the Red Cross isn't important, but for one Bellevue family, blood donations have given their daughter a chance at a better life. Marie Hanusek reports.
She likes to kind of look at things and wave.
1-year-old Emily Stevenson smiles and waves like any other happy baby. What is shocking to learn is that she has undergone 11 blood transfusions in the last 12 months. Emily was born with a genetic blood disorder called spherocytosis, which destroys her red blood cells and causes severe anemia. Her mother, Amy Stevenson, says that the most difficult part of the process is seeing her daughter suffer.
Just watching her go through this, you know, it's one thing to watch your child get a shot, you know, for vaccinations, but to watch a little baby get an IV put in every 5 to 6 weeks, it's really difficult to watch.
Emily and other patients are waiting for bags like these to be filled with life-saving blood. Red Cross representative April Opliger says that Emily represents one of 44,000 blood transfusions needed daily.
Emily puts a face to the need. You know, you can't help but look at her and be amazed that, you know, the work of the Red Cross, the generosity of blood donors, has helped her be here today.
For little Emily, relief will come in the form of a splenectomy, which can be done when she is 2 years old. Until then, she will depend on generous blood donors and anywhere from 6 to 10 more transfusions. For the Omaha News, I'm Marie Hanusek.
For information on donating blood to the Red Cross, please visit redcross.org.
Starting a business can be a scary endeavor, but carrying on a business that's been around the block can make things easier.
$5 off.
Bob Donahoe is a master at creating coveted rocking horses. Bob discovered his passion for crafting rocking horses a few years ago when he wanted to make his granddaughter a birthday gift that would last. After seeing how much his granddaughter loved the rocking horse, he decided he wanted to keep making rocking horses for others to cherish as well. Bob discovered that John Spankroll, the original owner of all his horses, was looking to sell his company. The opportunity was almost too good to be true.
They were actually about to shut down and go out of business. With this website contact and stuff that they had, we wanted in on that. That was the continuity to keep all their customers in their customer list because they had a 24 years of experience.
50% of new businesses fail every year. Bob's wife Debbie said that taking over a business that was already well established made the business endeavor less challenging.
It was wonderful. I mean, he's already, you know, at the last 26 years, he's already made all the mistakes.
Out of all the rocking horses Bob's made, he says that his favorite will always be that first one he made for his granddaughter Sadie Jane years ago.
To find out more about Bob Donahoe and his business, All His Horses, go to www.allhishorses.com.
From a stuffy head to that whistling in your nostrils, breathing's no breeze this time of year. According to health.com, during these winter months when your nose is exposed to cold air, it runs. This process is due to overproduced mucus built up from the nasal passage, which is designed to warm air before hitting lungs. Here are a few simple remedies to help take care of that annoying drip. Get steamy. A hot shower can help loosen up your congestion. A quick rinse from a neti pot can help flush out the buildup of mucus. You can also elevate your head above your heart at night when you're sleeping to let gravity do its job. Also, stay hydrated. During both the day and night, moisture escapes your nose and throat every time you exhale. So make sure to drink an extra glass of water before bed and help this problem. Simply use a humidifier.
A study from over 600 families showed that excessive TV viewing for children may actually improve their behavior. The families were set into two groups. The first started by substituting violent programming with educational shows, such as Dora the Explorer, Super Y, and Sesame Street. They reduced violent shows and increased educational programming from 30 to 40 minutes a day. The second group didn't change any viewing habits. The results showed that after a year, the first group improved in cooperation tests and willingness to share and compromise. They also experienced less aggressive behavior. Experts say that children tend to mimic what they see on TV and in movies, and that before the age of 8, they learn their attitudes. After that age, it's difficult to unlearn. Thanks for tuning in to the program today. We hope everyone gets through this snowstorm tomorrow and stays safe.
If you're looking for more, check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/theomahanews.
While you're there, you can check out the news stories our reporters covered, submit story ideas, or give us feedback. We'd love to hear from you. From all of us here at the Omaha News and UNO Television, good night.
UNO Television gives students a chance to work in a real studio. Working on the TV crew, students get hands-on experience with lights, camera, and action. Working on a variety of shows gives students a leg up looking for jobs. In fact, many former crew members work at local stations. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience for students to learn the science and art of TV production. UNO TV, student crew, professional staff, award-winning results.
When will you look deep into space? When will you travel back in time? When will you experience the power of red? When? Anytime. Online at video.netnebraska.org. Search, select, and share with the NET Video Player. Watch our shows on your schedule.
What if there were a neighborhood where every child felt they belonged, and a big dog helped them stay little a little longer? A monkey helped them find the wonder in every little thing, and a flightless bird showed them how to soar. Support the people and programs that never stop asking, what if?